It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of March 23rd, 2001. We got 3 movies to look at today, so let's not waste any more time. Let's jump on into it, and we'll start off with the biggest new release of the weekend, and that is Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sigourney Weaver, Ray Liotta, and Gene Hackman in Heartbreakers.
Your trash is on fire.
He's hardly charming.
Oh, look at all the fish.
Got it. He's hardly breathing. And that's exactly the way they like it.
The older the better. With luck, they died right after the wedding.
Marry me.
We're talking a settlement of $20 million. Oh, darling.
Heartbreakers, rated PG-13, starts Friday, March 23rd at theaters everywhere.
So here we have Sigourney Weaver and Jennifer Love Hewitt as a mother-daughter con team. Max singles out wealthy men and convinces them to marry her. Once married, Paige seduces them, ensuring that Max catches them in the act. Cue divorce proceedings at a large settlement, but it gets complicated when they have to deal with this tobacco dealer played by Gene Hackman, and then there's also a bartender played by Jason Lee that gets involved, and one of Max's exes played by Ray Liotta gets involved, and of course chaos ensues. So in a way, it's kind of there's a lot of there's a little bit of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels into this mix here. And the movie itself really is well done. It's a very funny movie. This is directed by David Merkin, who's done a lot of work for The Simpsons. The last movie he directed, actually, was Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion. But I think this is truly his magnum opus film. This is a really funny movie. Sigourney Weaver and Jennifer Love Hewitt play the mother-daughter team very well here. Gene Hackman has a very funny role in this movie, as does Ray Liotta. Jason Lee's very good in here. It's the last time you'll ever see Anne Bancroft because she passed away a couple of years after this movie came out. It's not the best movie in general. I would honestly say the first maybe 45 minutes of not even the first 45 minutes, maybe the first hour and a half were pretty good. But then you can definitely tell it's going a little bit too long, especially in the third act of the movie. The last 30 minutes really feel like they're tacked on for no particular reason except to add a third act that feels completely pointless and just does not feel like it's necessary to the storyline, and it really does show. It doesn't affect the overall enjoyment of the movie too much, but it does drag on. If the film had stopped around maybe the 90-minute mark, I would honestly say this is definitely one of the most underrated comedies ever. But as it is, it's a pretty good comedy. Plus, Sigourney Weaver, Jennifer Love Hewitt, man, these two really do work off each other so well. And I'll say this, the sex appeal in this movie actually does work pretty well here. I mean, this is a film that, I'm gonna be honest with you, the reason I saw this movie for the first time when I was little was because of those scenes of you see Sigourney Weaver in some pretty sexy lingerie in the beginning of the movie, and then and then Jennifer Love Hewitt's got her boobs and her ass out so much. I mean, what can I say, man? That was what I was. I was a prepubescent 13-year-old kid when this came out. Actually, 12-year-old kid when this came out. So, of course, that's the first thing I'm going to notice when I see this movie. But yeah, like I said, it's not an overall great film, but when it does work, it works very well. Like I said, the first 90 minutes of the movie really work well on their own. It does drag on in the last 30 minutes of the movie, but not enough to the point where I can say it's a bad film. It just takes what could have been a really great film and makes it a mostly enjoyable film. It delivers what it promises. It does make you laugh a lot. There are a lot of funny moments in this, and I think it's a well-made film for the most part. If that last 30 minutes had been a little bit better, I would probably say that this would be an underrated film, but as it is, it's a good movie. Definitely could have been better if the last third was pretty good, but it's fine for what it is. So that's Heartbreakers. So let's go ahead and move on to the next movie we have here, and that is The Brothers.
You want me to work it? Good men aren't hard to find. We're single professional men. We're the cream of the crop. We are the cream of the crop. You're on the bottom of the barrel. Morris Chestnut.
Would you like to meet my sister?
I'm kind of off the market right now. D.O.U. A young brother's getting all he can stand these days. Bill Bellamy.
I'm La Mozinga.
Lama what? Shamar Moore. We're getting married. Here we go. Come on, The Brothers. Rated R. Opens everywhere March 23rd.
So the story of this is, it's pretty much a male equivalent to something like Waiting to Exhale. You follow these 4 African-American men, played by Morris Chestnut, D.L. Hughley, Bill Bellamy, and Shamar Moore, as they take on love, sex, friendship, honesty, and commitment. And, like I said, man, I mean, the trailers basically sum this up as a male equivalent to something like Waiting to Exhale. I've seen Waiting to Exhale, and I like that movie a lot. This one I've actually never seen before. I've only ever seen like little bits and pieces from trailers and commercials alone. So I can't really say for certain that this movie is... I've seen the movie and I can give an honest review for it. But, I mean, it does feel like a movie that comes in the same lines as something like A Waiting to Exhale or Soul Food or a lot of these movies that are of this type, like The Wood. Which, the more I think about it, maybe The Wood is probably the best comparison to this. I mean, I have seen The Wood and I thought that was a good film. This one, like I said, I haven't seen all of it in full, but from the little bits and pieces I've seen from it, I have no reason to believe it's a bad movie. I think it actually could be a decent film overall. I've just never really seen it in full to really give it an honest, full review on it. But from the little bits and pieces I've seen from it, looks promising. It definitely has a lot of things I like about it, but not much more I can say about this one. So that's The Brothers. So let's go ahead and move on to our last movie, and that is Say It Isn't So.
Who's next?
Right here. The guys who brought you Mary have done it again.
Excuse me a minute.
Say It Isn't So is outrageously funny.
Walter! Stay absolutely still. I gotta go get my camera.
A truly twisted romance.
Just say something for the honeymoon.
What are you saying, Julie?
It's the funniest movie of the year.
For real?
Say It Isn't So. Rated R. March 23rd. Only.
Yeah, judging by that trailer, you can see a lot of the real problems with this particular movie. You have a young orphan played by Chris Klein who finds out that his lover Jill, played by Heather Graham, might actually be his biological sister. After they break up, he discovers that they're not really related after all, and he travels across the country to stop her impending wedding. Unfortunately, the entire nature has heard the story and thinks he's just after incestuous thrills, which... I mean, the jokes write themselves. Unfortunately, they're not really funny jokes, and even though the trailer definitely has those little brief flashes of really funny material, like the guy with the bee in the wheelchair with the bees all over his Sally-Field going, "Stay perfectly still, I have to go get my camera." Like, that's probably the best joke in the entire movie, because it feels realistic, it feels actually legitimately funny. Everything else about this movie's jokes is just not funny. It's just a whole bunch of incestuous jokes, and it's just not funny. Like, there's nothing about these jokes that are really funny or clever. You can see them coming from a mile away. They waste a lot of really good talent on this movie. Not just Heather Graham and Chris Klein, but Orlando Jones, like I said, Sally Field, Richard Jenkins is wasted in this movie. A lot of great talent in this film is wasted, and the film is not really up to what you would expect from a Farrelly Brothers production. They produced this movie. They weren't the writers on it. They weren't the director. In fact, this director would actually work with Chris Klein again later in the year with American Pie 2, which obviously was a much bigger and better success, but this, not so much. It's just, first of all, it's really hard to make this type of humor funny unless you have the Farrelly Brothers actually working on it. In fact, this year, in this particular year, I think Fox was trying really hard to create their next big Farrelly Brothers style hit without the Farrelly Brothers involved in them. Like there was Monkey Bone, which we talked about beforehand. There's this movie. There was, of course, the infamous Freddy Got Fingered. And in fact, the best movie that they tried to do this with was with the Farrelly Brothers, and that was Shallow Hal, which we'll get to at the end of the year. But this overstays its welcome really quickly, and I think it was just them trying way too hard with the shock gags, the slow pacing, the bad writing, the bad comedic elements, just a whole lot of missed opportunities in this movie, despite the very few brief flashes of promise and with the comedic jokes there. But like I said, the best jokes are in the trailer for this, but other than that, though, it's a bad movie. Avoid this one like the plague. So with that said, that wraps up another edition of Time About the Movies, and on the next episode, we'll take a look at 4 more movies to wrap up the month of March. We'll have Robert Rodriguez's Spy Kids, we'll have Ashley Judd and Greg Kinnear in Someone Like You, Jerry O'Connell in Tomcats, and Pierce Brosnan in The Tailor of Panama. So 4 films we'll look at next time, but until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page. Check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. So with that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.